for them, and I'm pretty sure they will bounce back. I'm giving them energy, you know, because I'm always for the dark horse. But I think it's a very positive sign.
Yeah, it can always be risky to just change up completely just because something didn't work against one team, and that team is on fire right now. I mean, C-Deck is really crushing, so I don't think that C9 needs to change their strat.
I like Vici bringing back the Rubik AA duo. AA is a hero that we really haven't seen that much, but he's actually a really strong roamer in combination with someone that you can actually get some right clicks off. Rubik, Vengeful Spirit, for example, and we've seen some Shadow Fiends get away with a ton of farm. This time, Shadow Fiends is on Dire. They have a strong mid, and they have a double strong support duo.
Yeah, and later on, of course, stopping the IO from doing any forms of heals on the Gyrocopter or Shadow Fiend, whoever he's tethered to. That will have a big impact as well. Will make the fights a bit shorter, that's for sure.
Yeah, removing the Brood as a 5th pick here.
It was quite smart because I'm pretty sure they were still thinking of the Brood. It could have helped them a lot as a pocket pick, but especially because they have the last pick. But it's not going to be an option now. Good awareness from
It would have been, a devastating pick against Rubik and AA, who really don't want to face up against that early on. Lina being the only one who really likes that matchup. I wonder what C9. Oh, they can remove Ember. That's true. That could be a fighting carry that suits here. Still plenty of magical damage though, until you really hit that late game, similar to Luna when you add your physical.
Well, if you're playing against Cloud9, at some point you kind of have to play late game.
And that's the pocket pick, the How Spectre.
The global strat is real from Vici.
And they really started picking Spectre when How joined because he's such a great Spectre player. He's always been.
I'm excited for this. Spectre is one of my favorite heroes to watch. Despite her being farmy and slow, her ulti, I mean, you can contribute every time you have it up, and that's more than many carries do, actually.
Cloud9 have a big opening, a really big opening, because Spectre is not also this physical damage dealer. I think they need to get something that wants to group up as well, and when they get those BKBs on Gyro and SF, they just go and push towers.
Yeah, Spectre's super risky here. Like, her laning phase is really, really weak. We've seen Cloud9 run Gyro Wisp in the offlane a lot to pressure stronger melee carries than Spectre, and Spectre being super weak, the Rubik and AA can't really do that much.
I think an aggressive hero like this is great. I really like the Phoenix because they're going to force the issue, not too early, but at some point they're going to be on the offensive, and that's very good for them in that game.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. We will be returning to the analysis desk at the very end, but now time to go over to our commentary team for the final game of the day.
That's right, I'm Capitalist. I'm joined by Blitz, Cloud9 versus Vici Gaming. And as you can see, we've got some rabid fans on both sides of the table. But one of these sides of fans is going to be walking home pretty sad because we are in our last series of the night, and it is an elimination match, Blitz.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy too. It's C9 versus Vici Gaming, both teams that you would never have expected either of these teams to be in the situation that they are. Cloud9 is a consistent top 5 finisher in most tournaments. Vici Gaming throughout the year looked dominant at various stages, and the fact that one of these teams have to go home and have a chance to play against MVP Phoenix, who already waits for them in the top 8, is pretty absurd to me.
All right, so we have our game started here. What I love about this first game between Vici Gaming and Cloud9 is that we've got some signature heroes on both sides of the table. So let's run over them, shall we? Eternal Envy is going to be playing his Gyrocopter Misery. Signature hero for him, probably one of the best Banes in the business. We've got, of course, Big Daddy No Tail on his Wisp. Mid is going to be Fada playing the SF, and that just leaves Bone7 playing the Phoenix. But here's another one. Vici Gaming, they've got Hal playing the Spectre. Blitz, what did you think about that last pick, Spectre?
I really like it. I think it synergizes incredibly well with their lineup. They've got the AA ultimate plus the Clockwork Rocket. There's plenty of damage to specialize with the Haunt. And he's one of the best Spectre players in the world, if not the best. He's one of the few people that still run it. And that's how you know you're good at a hero. If your team still runs it for you and nobody else picks it, it means that it is a hero that you specialize in. But C9, like you said, they've got a few flavor picks. An interesting thing about Bone7's Phoenix, apparently, No Tail was a god at the hero, and so he actually helped them a lot in learning it.
Oh, wow, look at that. FY already grabbing the very early counter ward against Cloud9 in that top rune spot. FY is going to be playing Rubik, of course, probably one of the best Rubiks out there in the world right now. Cloud9, we're actually going to have an early level 1 fight over the bounty rune. Fada's already setting himself up. Hal's going to challenge him. Meanwhile, Eyes, though, he's locked inside of the cogs with Misery. That's not a place he wants to be, and he'll be giving up first blood. Misery, though, the turnaround kill for Vici Gaming. So they did snag the bounty rune there on Hal, but gave up the first blood in the process. And that top bounty rune is actually still there. All 5 members of both team went down to the bottom. Looks like Bone 7 is going to be the one to snag it.
And Bone 7 has a pretty absurd start. He got the first blood last hit. He's about to get a bounty rune. Halfway to level 2. This is going to be so difficult for Ice to recover, who decided to go for the boots build. But Bone 7, knowing that he was going to be in the safe lane, opts for a much less defensive build. This is a lot better for the lane, just because Ice only has 1 set of regen, and that clarity is not going to help him in this lane. Whereas Bone 7, 2 sets of regen, immediately going for the Tranquil boots, which he already has pretty much.
Yeah, that's going to be huge, the fact that he can pick up boots right away. And this matchup is not terribly favorable for the Clockwork either, right? Because the big thing about Fire Spirit slowing down your attack speed so drastically is that Ice, if he uses Cogs at the wrong moment and he's Fire Spirited up, he can't actually get out of his own Cogs.
Oh yeah, I guess that's a really good way. I didn't think that. It's going to be hard for him to deal with this lane regardless, just because of the advantage that he started out with. Giving a hero first blood, especially your offlaner, and I guess in this case it's the safe lane is going to help so much as Ice already has a lot to deal with. But in this bottom lane, I mean, this is the interesting thing for me. How often do we see the IO played in the safe lane? But
already grabbing Big Daddy. He's so leather away, but the right click is still there. And now Misery is trapped up against 3 heroes. He will be able to run down river and will be fine. Judging that, they've already lost their Wisp. Is it still worth it? Cloud9 running an aggro tri-lane here and leaving Bone 7 a favorable lane like this. Is the trade-off worth it, Blitz?
I think they just kind of have to stick with it at this point in the game. Like, there's nowhere else for them to really go. The Bane can just rotate around, which I guess is the next best thing for him to do. And Super's being harassed pretty hard, and he's going to go for the rune to top, but Misery does want to try to get aggressive, but they have a ward right there. The problem right now is that FI denies the rune right in front of No-Tail, and he actually really needed that. He started using most of his bottle charges. He only has 1 left, and how often do you see a lane with Gyrocopter tri-lane on tri-lane lose?
Yeah, it's very rare, and just all that pick off on the Wisp early on, and now him not being able to have any offensive power whatsoever in this lane, just the tether by itself. I have to say, I keep looking up to this lane, and I'm loving what Ice is doing here. Every single time he's trying to utilize Cogs to push back Bone 7 and burn away his Fire Spirit's mana, which is the most dangerous part of the Phoenix, obviously. Especially level 3 and level 5, it's really big power levels for Phoenix in a 1 versus 1 scenario. Just the damage over time is so extreme, especially when you already have that range versus melee advantage. It's tough for Ice to survive in that lane, but burning the Phoenix's mana is the best way to go, and he just keeps on punishing Bone 7.
Yeah, and he actually gets his salve canceled. And if you just take a look at the difference in CS right now, Ice, who started out with just boots, 1 set of regen, is already up to 13, really close to the top of the game, and the Phoenix is just at 9 right now, so none of the lanes are going too well for C9 Gaming.
I love the choice by him to go for the bottle. I think that is so smart, especially since he's already out of his regeneration. He seems to be doing very well for himself. He's keeping Bone 7.
Oh, he's going to get aggressive here.
Yeah, he tries to force it. The Phoenix Dive is there. And Battery Assault, very good against Phoenix Dive. Able to get that mini stun in to be able to stop it. So Bone 7 really going to have to keep his space here. Just completely unable to establish any dominance in lane without a lack of mana.
Yeah, and this is the dream scenario for Vici Gaming. Ice of all players gets a one-on-one matchup. It doesn't really matter what he is. He's just going to outskill you. That's the type of player that he is. The mechanical skill for him is there to pretty much play any lane, any role. And we're seeing that on display, but in this mid lane, the Shadow Fiend is starting to catch up now. And this isn't a hero that you typically associate with Dota, but he's doing a really good job of keeping up with CS. Hasn't really been pressured too much. So for me, it's this bottom lane that's a little bit of cause for concern, because Envy getting aggressive right now, but they have to really dominate this lane to kind of make up for what's going on at top.
Yeah, 14-0 on How right now, CSY 21-1. Uh-oh, Bone 7, he's been caught here, and that Battery Assault doesn't matter if your attack speed is slow. Ice will get the damage anyway with the Battery Assault. Big Daddy even rotating over just to make sure, seeing if he can actually save Bone 7, but not the case. And Ice is now going to rotate over. He's got his level 6 coming in soon. Misery is actually going to go up top lane. Looks like they just want to run a defensive tri lane now. Oh, that was close. Ice almost pushing Misery up onto that cliff.
He's just being a nuisance right now. And this is a Bane that's level 2, right? He'll stack one more time and then go back to the base, but you're still just wasting more time. And C9 isn't going to be happy with how the laning phase went at all. They eventually rotate because the Gyrocopter just isn't getting enough at bottom to warrant what's happening at top. Like, the fact that the clockwork is even in CS right now with the gyrocopter is pretty insane. And the fact is that even if they rotate up here, Ice is still liable to kill pretty much anybody one-on-one. Like, he's about to hit his level 6. He's playing pretty greedy for it, but it's going to be really difficult for them to pressure him when he can pretty much just turn around and kill him.
Yeah, because of the aggro tri-lane, they haven't been able to stack up for the SF, and because he's dire side, he's unlikely to be able to stack for himself. You can see maybe he goes and does it now, but it's just too much of a distance, right? That's the big advantage of a Radiant side SF. You don't necessarily need that extra support to help you out with stacks.
Yeah, and right now, Super can't really pressure him, but again, we've talked about it time and time again. It's not the fact that you're getting out CS by an SF that matters. Like, the SF is naturally supposed to be ahead of you. Because of the way that the hero is played, you just have to build defensive items. So you're meant to be a little bit ahead, just because you want that faster BKB.
Oh, jump it! Oh! Misses out on the hook shot.
They might get him, though. He's just fine.
Yeah, it's not there in time, especially with Ice going with the maxed out battery assault build. Wouldn't have the damage from the rocket anyway, but still, VG Gaming going to be very happy with that exchange. Already establishing dominance in the static part of the laning phase, and now as heroes start moving around, they still are finding openings.
Honestly, to me, yesterday in the Navi game, Ice was a little bit disappointing. I'm used to just seeing him be the best offlaner in the world, maybe the exception of Universe, and I think he even said yesterday, he was like, thanks for carrying me, team, but it seems like today, she's on the opposite.
Raise 1, raise 2, raise 3, all on the mark. Vada secures the kill on House Spectre. They shut him down, so the movement of the VG Gaming supports leaves Hal a little bit open, and Cloud9 do pounce on that opportunity.
And they immediately smoke, and this means that FY is probably going to get caught out here. He's the one that's going to tank this. Misery is in position. He doesn't have the mana for sleep. They might actually just turn this around.
Oh, they
Misery's going to go down, and Vada's running forward, though.
Yeah, they're going to have FY easily caught out by Eternal Envy. The question is, can they get Super 2? Looks like a missed raise will ensure that Super gets back to the Tier 1 tower completely unharmed. So a simple 1-for-1 trade-off of supports, not too big of a deal.
Yeah, and